Alright, good afternoon everyone and welcome to the channel. So I know this channel, this video, there's people actually going past and waving at my car and really like it. I find that kind of ironic and funny because it's an old car. People think it looks great. And I put a lot of work into the vents and the aesthetics and stuff like that, but I never thought that people actually like it like that. But it actually makes me feel good that a lot of my effort didn't go to waste. But this channel is completely different, and it's actually, not this channel, this video is completely different, and it's actually a video I don't want to make. So I'm in the car, obviously, you can tell I'm driving, and I'm having serious major issues with the car. I was gonna go down to my Granbury Cruise new route that I came up with a couple of days last week or something like that, and I was gonna go ride it with the guys. But the night before, my car took a serious dive, so it's making a sound like a rattle can inside of a spray can. Also, you can feel grinding, and I've been having this hard bump when you disengage the throttle, take up your foot off the accelerator, and you re-engage. And it started happening a few months ago, at least that part did, after a track session, of course. Track has just been busting up this car. So instead of, I've been fearing that it was me and Corey went through a process last night, and we thought maybe it was just bad gas because it started happening after I put gas in it. But I went and I brought some of this VP Racing, what is it called, Madditive. I brought 2 cans of this stuff. It's $22 for 1 can. It only treats 10 gallons. And I put 2 in there because I have about an 18-gallon tank, hoping that was the issue. I just had bad gas, and I was getting detonation, and I was getting pinging. But I'm not getting that. Now, on top of the noises, I'm also getting terrible vibration. It kicks in right around 2,000 RPM and only gets worse as you go along. So after doing a little bit of homework, going underneath it and checking a few things he told me to look under for, if you come to find out, we think it's my drive shaft. That, the car's got 100, you hear that sound? Okay, so yeah, hopefully you heard it. Anyway, so we think it's my drive shaft, so I went underneath there. I'll show you a quick picture. I took the bell housing little cover off and noticed that there was like a little piece of metal bouncing around in there that wasn't there before. Sent the picture to him, basically saying, hey, it's your drive shaft, needs to probably get rebuilt, do it before it explodes. So I took it down to this Corvette specialty shop that's out of Motorsport Ranch Crescent this morning. Had them look at it real quick, and they said they didn't even drive it 10 feet, and they could tell that I have a cracked flywheel. I don't know how the flywheel got cracked, but a couple options I could have had to do this is I could drop the whole back end of the car with the can you hear it? Let me get over and go a little slower. The whole back end with the car, with the differential, the transmission, the control arms, the wheels, all that stuff get dropped, the shocks, all that from the back gets dropped off the torque tube. Pull the torque tube off and start taking it apart, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Now, I don't have all the tools to rebuild a torque tube, but I would have brought a couple of them, or I would have sent it off, or I would have brought a torque tube or a drive shaft offline and just stuck it in there from a used vet. Make a long story short, that was the route I was going to take. But I decided that I don't have a lift, and I would have to enlist someone else's help to help me drop that, because I just didn't have all the proper tools to do that correctly. And I never really messed with something like that before, and I would have been going into new territory. And with work and everything going on, and the next 2 weeks I'll be going into the office, I don't have the nights that I can just easily dedicate like I was when I'm rebuilding the engine. So I've decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and pay someone to repair this car for me. Now, I thought about maybe pulling out the engine again, and I could get to the flywheel that way, and then I could take the torque tube off. But I was just thinking about the timing factor and just other things, and I just kind of just want it done. It's 100 degrees out here in Texas. I don't know if I have the time to rebuild it. I really don't want to pull this engine out again, and they've quoted me $2,700, and that's including a rebuild kit for the torque tube because it's had 163,000 miles on it, a new flywheel. The flywheel flex plate only costs about $120. The torque tube rebuild kit only costs $450. However, all the labor, I think it's like 13 or 16 hours of labor of actually taking the torque tube off, putting it on, and the work to put it back, put everything on there is what's really, really killing me. Now, so I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet. Spend the $2,700, get it done. I hope that is what it is. That's what's gonna cost me, and I don't have any more torque tube, flywheel problems, and the engine has been running pretty good, pretty far, because I've been doing highway pulls. I did one cruise and stuff like that. So I'm heading down to a shop called G Speed. It's down off of Motorsport Ranch Crescent. I'm probably about another 20 or 30 minutes away from there. I'm going like 60 to 70 miles an hour because the faster I go, the more RPMs the car has, and the more damn sounds it's gonna make. And I don't need to explode right now in the 11th hour I'm trying to get there. So I'm gonna go and show you the shop, show you when I get down there, and I'll be, I guess maybe that'll just be it. We'll just pick it up from there. Alright, so we made it down here to G Speed, out here at Crescent. Bruno's gonna give me a ride to a city where I can actually catch a Lyft or Uber. But let me go ahead and drop the key off to these guys and get going. Alright everyone, I just picked up about to pick up my car here from G Speed. I actually just paid them. I'm gonna show you guys the invoice, the damage, and everything when I get back home. This came out to be more expensive and more of a headache than I thought it was gonna be. But I'm glad that G Speed set me straight. They kept me 100%. They were 100% honest. I absolutely love this shop. Next to Corey, this is like my top shop, especially since it's in a Dallas area. And they understood the urgency that, hey, I got a track event tomorrow. Really want to have my car out there for it that I'm running here at Crescent tomorrow. And they made sure that this car got done in record time, and they test drove it and all that, as opposed to if you took it somewhere else, you know, a normal performance shop, that they'll let it probably sit a week or a few days, or they'll get to it when they can. That they understand the urgency that keeps, I guess their slogan is keeping you on the track, and they got it done. So absolutely love these guys. Was able to get me a set of Alpine gloves with it at a good cost since I've spent so much with them. But can't wait to get in this car, drive it back home, get it cleaned up for tomorrow, and enjoy the track day. But gonna go home, gonna pull out the invoices, show you the damages and all that stuff, and close out this video. But so stay tuned to the next section. Okay, we are here many months down the road, and what I'm gonna show you guys here is the bill. So the bill to do rebuild the torque tube, flywheel, you know, with new bushings and all that stuff, and a new flywheel is going to come out to be around $3,000. So I paid $1,457 at first, and then another $1,457 was my remaining balance to do all that. However, when they got it open, they found out nothing was wrong with my flywheel. That in turn, it was actually my drive shaft. So as you can look at my drive shaft right here, it is literally jacked up like crazy. As you can see, there's gouges all in it. You know, let's see if there's any worse ones down here at the back. No, but you could just see it's just all terrible. So if you look at the pictures, you can see how there's like just powder and stuff everywhere. Basically, what they told me is when they took the drive shaft out, that it just literally fell apart in front of them. As soon as they took it out, it just fell apart. The only reason it was being held together is like it was just like being the washers or the bolts had become fused together through heat and stuff like that. I really can't explain it in detail, but my car was like just really jacked up, and
it just wasn't. It was gonna go any minute. Luckily that it made it back down to the shop is what they told me. So that $3,000 bill ended up turning to $4,500 bill when I got that phone call that it was the drive shaft and the flywheel was fine. So the reason why it cost more is because I had to get a new drive shaft, and since the only drive shaft they had in the office was one for a manual. The automatics there was none at any dealerships or anywhere in the United States. They were looking at some salvage yards, but it was going to take them a few days. They had a manual one, drive shaft in there. It was a little too short, and so what they did is they modified it to make it fit for an automatic. I don't know how they did it, but that's what they did. So it cost a little extra to do that, but I was able to get my car back on time and able to go on the track. So this $3,000 bill turned into a $4,500 bill. I don't know where my other invoice is, but hey, trust me, I'm telling you that's how much it costs. But I will say that G-Speed was 100% worth it. I got a racing drive shaft in there, complete peace of mind. I was able to take it right on the track the very next day and turn out some great lap times on a 1.7 in Motorsport Ranch. So they're, like I said earlier, they are my second favorite shop next to Corey. They're my number one favorite shop up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They know exactly what they're doing. They will get your car ready and going to the ready for the track, just like that, or whatever you need. They're not there to let your car sit for weeks or months playing around. But yeah, very painful lesson. Paying $4,500. I mean, I could have brought a two-post lift. For about, I think it's about $1,500 to $2,000, and I could have brought me a whole used drive shaft from a Corvette with lower mileage on it, and still had like $1,500 left over. Like $2,000 for a two-post lift and $1,000 for a drive shaft, and do all the labor myself. But since I wanted time of the essence, I wanted to get done, and I didn't have time to do it, you just got to pay for it. It's actually my first time paying someone to ever work on this car. I've only paid someone one time to put work on this car, and there was a change of radiator out. Like I said, I do all my work myself, and I wish I did it this time. Otherwise, I would still have some money left to spend on track days. But enough of me rambling on. Car's been performing great. It's been about 2 months since this has all happened. Everything's still working fine for drive shaft. Couldn't be any happier. Just wish I didn't have to spend so much. It was all mainly because of the labor of having to drop the whole back end in out. That's like $1,500 of cost is what they told me. Is $1,500. It just because it's like 10 to 12 hours of labor just dropping it out. So that's where my real cost came from. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. If you haven't been to the channel before, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.